Hello, I think we're ready to start now. I just need an okay from Casper and tell me if all the technical stuff are working.
Bjarke?
Yes.
How do I change the slides from here?
I'll hand the presenting part to you when it's your turn. And we can say welcome to Emil from Google. Emil is based out of the Google office in Dublin, so we just need to figure out the technical part. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for joining this webinar. As the agenda for today, I'll talk a little about myself. That's always the best part, I think. A little bit about the webinars we are hosting with Varier. This is webinar 2 out of 3. And I can see a lot of you are attending again, so that's a good thing. Then I'll hand the word to Emil from Google, who is with us today. He will give you a lot of numbers, so be prepared for that. And then I will talk a bit about Google AdWords, Google My Business, and Google Analytics. So all about this is Google today. Yeah, first about me. My name is, as I said, Bjarke. I'm 30 years old. I'm from Denmark. I'm a founder and marketing specialist at a company called Compel. We are like 8 geeks working out of Denmark, working with all digital marketing, meaning Facebook as the last webinar, Google as we're talking about today, and a lot of other interesting parts. We are a Google Premium partner, we are a Facebook managed agency, and we're like, we think we're pretty good at what we're doing. We focus on the interaction. I try to show with the circles in the middle of creative mindsets. We're born digital and also thinking strategy. That's like our way to success. Yeah, why are we hosting this webinar together with Varier? Varier wants to grow their business. That's it's not a secret, but Varier wants you to grow your business, both in, of course, Varier sales in their products, but also in other products. And we know that there's happening a lot of things in digital. We call it the digital revolution. And there's both problems and opportunities. And instead of just like sitting and saying, oh, what should we do about it? We created this concept where we're trying to teach you something about online marketing, and hopefully we could help each other because Varier works a lot and spend a lot of money on online marketing, and we want to share that knowledge with you and hopefully help you to do that. So this is why we do this. Yeah, and of course this webinar is produced together with Varier. Frode, Linda, and Casper, and the rest of the marketing department, so they approve this message. Yeah, of course we have some disclaimers. We host this in English. There'll be some texted versions later, I think so. I'll do my best. As I said, I'm a Dane, but I'll try to do it in English as best I can. When we talk about numbers, we have guests from all around Europe. So we look at Google Trends. Sometimes we look at the specific country, so it might differ from your country. Don't focus on the numbers. Focus on the trends and the inspiration. We'll not dig into like how to. We'll show it like in step by step, but not detailed. We want you to do it yourself. If I were to teach you how to set up an AdWords campaign, it would be boring. It would take a lot of time, and you will forget it when we're finished. So we want to inspire you to do more of this. We have some links to some resources where you can help. And for example, Google AdWords, Google are willing to help you. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, and of course feedback. Let us know if there are anything you want to hear about. Let us know if there's anything we can do better. Yeah, and both right now you can message me at the webinar or afterwards. After the webinar, it would be distributed from Varier, both the slides and the videos, so you can see it again, so you don't have to write everything down. If you have any questions, then write them. I'll see if I can cut them on the fly, or we'll have them afterwards. Yeah, and I think this would take around 40-45 minutes, depending on my talking speed and the questions. Yeah, that was pretty much it. And now, Emil, now I will hand it over to you. Okay, are you with me, Emil?
Hello.
Hello, Emil.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear you. And I will try to make you a presenter.
Yes. Okay, so I share my screen, or
Yeah, if you share your screen, you can see the slides from your computer.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. Yeah. Can you all see? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, it's perfect.
Good. Let's start then. All right. I am Emil, and I am working here in Dublin for Google, where I work in the Google Marketing Solutions team. And I am really excited to be able to talk to you a little bit about understanding consumers shopping for furniture in Europe. And so just quick intro to myself and what kind of work I do. I work in the Marketing Solutions team, where we work with agencies like Compel to grow the businesses, the digital businesses of clients all around, mostly Denmark, but also in around Europe. These clients are normally can be a great variety of in terms of size. It can be small, very large clients. It can be a little bit of everything. So beforehand, I was working in the Danish office, where I worked in the Marketing Insights department, which is a little geeky organization within Google that deals with market research. So studying a lot of consumer behavior, a lot of numbers, a lot of pattern analysis. And that's actually also what I'm gonna provide you with today. Basically a bunch of numbers. So I hope that you had your morning coffee and that you are ready to look at some numbers. But first, just a quick analogy. When I was a little kid and I went traveling with my parents, and we went to a restaurant, me and my sister, we would always, the first thing we would do was to flip to the back page of the menu card. And why was that? That was because that was where the desserts were. Today, when I go traveling with my parents, I still flip to the back of the menu as the first thing. But that's not because of the desserts. That's normally because that's where the restaurant Wi-Fi password is. And this is a really good example of what characterizes consumers today, to always be connected anywhere and at every moment. The paradox is, as the director of Coca-Cola puts it here, that consumers has never been more connected, but it has never been more. It's never been harder to connect with them, and that's because we obviously got some. We've gotten an explosion in the amounts of touch points. Not only do we have many different channels to interact with consumers, we also have many different devices now, which has made it really difficult to understand how you as a marketeer most efficiently reach out to your consumers and interact with them. I'm here today to try and give you a little bit of insights into how this consumer behavior is in the digital world, but also in the offline world. So if we look at the internet penetration rate since 2012, there's been a slight increase. So that's not revolutionary, but it is still increasing. If we went a little bit further back, we would see that there would have been a big spike in the zeros. Then if we look at the smartphone penetration rate, on the other hand, since 2012, we can see that trend is just upward sloping. There is a huge amount of people having smartphones today in Europe. Actually, we have 3.6 devices per person in Europe on average. 3.6. That's a lot of devices for one person. That obviously also includes all internet-enabled devices, as smartphones, tablets, computers, even smart TVs. But this gives marketeers a great challenge in order to understand how they most efficiently can reach their clients and try to influence the purchase decision. And all these devices, that means that we do not go online anymore, we live online. It's put up a little bit dramatical here, but actually there's a statistic saying that we check our phones 150 times per day. 150 times a day, whether that be checking Facebook, checking email, checking Snapchat, looking for information, searching for direction, and so on. And all these times we check our phones, that's a lot of small moments of like strong intent and strong urgency to get some information back. If we look at furniture as an industry, that's actually also this digital trend, this digitalization is also happening in the furnishing industry. So here we can see a chart showing the split of like researched online and purchased online. And what characterizes home furnishing is it's actually more digital than you would think, in the sense that there is a lot of online research going on, although a lot of people do not purchase online compared to other industries. So that also gives a little bit of a challenge, and that's something we should try and have a dig into a little bit later. When they research online in Europe for furniture, it's very often that they apply search engines, which we of course at Google are kind of happy to see. Well, we can see the blue chart here is like in general when they search, what do they utilize, and the orange bar is when they search locally, so searching for local information. So a funny thing is to see how retailer sites is most often there's a big difference in terms of research, retailer sites when it just goes from online research in general to local online information. So I guess the point here is that many of these channels have a great importance when it comes to online research in shopping for furniture. When it comes to local information, retailer sites have a greater importance than for just online information in general. If we look at how the searches for furniture has evolved since 2010 in Europe, you can see a great trend here. It's actually growing with 17% each year. 17%. This is index numbers, index queries. I obviously cannot share you the absolute value, absolute numbers of these queries, but I think it's quite clear that there is an upward sloping trend here, that people are either one, just buying more furniture in general, two, are more thorough when they search, or three, are applying search engines to a great extent. I think it's a combination of all of them. So looking at the extent of online or offline research, we can see that 65% researches online, when they shop for furniture, and 69% say that they research offline when they shop for furniture. And the clever mind here would think 69 plus 65, that's more than 100%. And that's because you can also just, the base of this, the sample of this, also have the opportunity to say that they only research online, or that they both research online and offline. So it's pretty even actually where they find their information. But if we have a look at what has changed, is that so in the digital world, the normal process would be, okay, we research 65% research online, and then you purchase online. But what has changed is that actually 39% research online and then go down to a shop and purchase offline. And this is still the numbers for furniture. So very, very relevant for you guys. On the other hand, in the offline world, so 69 researched offline, and then 53 would research offline and purchase online. So a little bit over half. But we also have a degree that goes and says we research offline and then we purchase online. So that's sort of like a good representation of how complex the pattern actually is, and how difficult it can be to understand the consumer today. I would say that the most important fact here is that there's a great amount of people who researches online and purchases offline. And why is that the most important? That's because we have, that's most likely the most difficult thing to measure, these like cross-channel patterns. But if we take a little example here of a consumer, of how her purchase process would look like. So if you have Rachel here, and Rachel, she wants to buy a new chair for her house. Rachel is 30 years old and realized that she kind of needed some new things for her house. If we look at her decision process, we can see that the internet actually plays a really, really important part of it. So 52% of Rachel's, like 52% of the European furniture shoppers, they say that they look for inspiration online. So the very early stages of the decision process happens online. Then if we move a little bit further to a decision, 56% compares choices online, whether that be to go to brand retailer sites, searching on price comparison sites, and so on. So here 56% says that they compares choices online, and that's sort of like in the mid-funnel stage. Moving further, 34% say that they look for advice online. So they kind of know that they found what they are looking for. They maybe found this really nice chair that they're looking for, but they really want to have some other opinions about it. That could be on blogs and forums and so on. So Rachel here is getting closer to a purchase decision. And then 40% checks where to buy online. And that could be, for instance, to look up where can I buy it, what is the availability of it, where is the store. So here we are getting really, really close to a purchase decision. And then in the final end, she most likely will purchase a piece of furniture. The thing is, if you do not understand this decision process properly, you might not be one of those 1 out of 3 brands that she considers. If you're not present in each of these stages, you might end up losing a potential client. That's why this understanding of the different channels is of utmost importance for retailers as well. If you want to dig into these numbers, we have all this data is based on the consumer barometer. I don't know if you know it, but consumerbarometer.com shows data about like the digital consumer, how it is in terms of smartphone usage, how it is in terms of like shopping in general, and online video as well. It's perfectly publicly available, so you can all access it, and you can break all these stats into to specific countries. You can break down on specific demographics and also different product categories. I guess the most relevant for you guys is the furniture one. The data is really rich. Oh, I apologize that the titles are in Danish here in the last slides, but the data is really rich. This is a global analysis. We made it in 56 countries, where we had 3,000 interviews and 1,000 phone interviews in each country. So it's really robust data, and once you have a look at it, you will see that it's possible to draw some really cool insights about your clients. That was actually all that I had with me today. If there's any questions, I don't know, Bjarke.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I can tell you that none left during your presentation, so the numbers didn't shift.
That's a good sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but really interesting numbers, and as I said in the start, it's the digital revolution, and we're here to try to capture some of that and teach you how to capture that. So if there's any questions, I just want to say thank you to Emil, and then I'll take back the presenter role. Yeah. I think you can see my screen again now. Yes. Okay. Well, no questions, so I will dig into some practical stuff. So I just want to say thank you for joining us, and thank you for giving some numbers.
You're more than welcome.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, now we are back again on the compel track. Yeah, as I said in the agenda, we'll talk about, now you know why it's important. Now we have to show you what you can do. And that would be some more practical stuff about the Google product search engine, the Google My Business, and the Google Analytics. Yeah, first of all, let's start with the Google. The main Google product is the search engine. Actually, some years ago, I started some of these presentations with do you know Google? I skipped that part, so now it's just we'll talk about Google. To understand what Google is, and when I say Google, I mean the search engine Google. Google is a lot of other things also. That's also why they changed the corporate name to Alphabet, and has a lot of different business insights. Google can give you customers revenue branding, and that is like a really important factor to know. Because of all the numbers that Emil showed us, we know that it's true, and now I will tell you like how is it true. Yeah, you can see a person, what we call him, it was Rachel before, so this is also Rachel. I'm not so good at drawing at Emil, so it's a bit more basic Rachel, but we can see Rachel has gone to Google. She is interested in an economic chair. We can see there's some retailers, there's some different, I made this search in the UK, so it's UK retailers, there's Office Furniture, there's Amazon, there's something called Vision, Viking Direct, Postrise. There are a lot of different retailers, and actually they might be getting a new customer right now. Maybe they will sell something to her, maybe they will not. And the point is that there's a lot of people like Rachel. This is like data from searches for economic chair per month, and this is only one keyword in the UK. And as you can see, it's around 50,000 people per month who are 50,000 queries per month where people are searching this, meaning that they want an economic chair, but they don't know a brand or they don't know where to buy it. So as I said, this is around 50,000 homeless potential customers for you, and this is like the essential part of what Google are doing, connecting consumers with someone who can fulfill their needs. So there's a lot of economic chair brands who hasn't branded them good enough or marketing them good enough for Varier. Yeah, there's two ways we can get into the Google, and I have like divided this. There's the paid part, which is called Google AdWords, and there is the non-paid part, which is called organic or SEO. It stands for Search Engine Optimization. And you can say the two different parts are doing the same, getting you connected to a consumer with a need, but the way you do it are extremely different. The paid part is of course the most important. You could see it was on the top. Of course, Google is a business; they want to make money. The paid part, AdWords, is it's an auction place where you will buy potential customers, and you pay per click, meaning that when Rachel click on your ads, you will pay an amount of money. You can decide your budget from day to day. You can spend as little as €1 per day. You can stop whenever you want to. So when you are needing clients, you can start, and when you are out of product, you can stop the ads, and this is like instantly stop. If you start today, you can have new clients in tomorrow. So Google AdWords is really interesting because it's pay per click as you go. You don't have to find an extreme budget to try it out, and you can start really fast. The free part, SEO part, it's about some totally different but the same goal. It's about optimizing your web page. It's about producing content that is relevant, so Google will rank you on top of the page. It's about link building, and I say it's free because you're not paying Google anything, but you're paying with your own time. You have to spend a lot of time working with your website, or you have to hire some consultants who can help you with that. Yeah, and when you're optimizing your site, it can work from next month or it can work next year. So the two ways into Google are extremely different, and they're both really good. But if it was my business, I will always start with the Google AdWords to see, okay, can I get Google to work for my business? And instead of waiting 6 months to figure out and spend a lot of hours to see, okay, it's not working for my business, I can try it out with the Google AdWords and see it working, and then I can use the SEO part as an add-on. So our recommendation to you is, if you've not worked with Google, then start with the Google AdWords and forget all about the SEO. That's my recommendation. You can see I've done some other searches. This is actually a free tool called Google Keyword Planner. You can just Google it and then you can see it. You can put in some words and see how many people are searching for this word. Yeah, here in the UK, 300,000 searches per month for chairs. Germany, around 100,000 searching for stool. There are some other words, and the interesting part here is you can see the volume, how many are actually searching for the word, and you can also see what will the word cost you. And as I said before, the Google AdWords is an auction where people are buying the customers. So depending on your country and the competitors, the price can vary from, you can see here, you can get a click for a kneeling chair for 10 kroners, or we can buy office furniture for 33 kroners. It's Danish kroners, but in terms of euro, it's from 50 euro cents to 20-30 euro. In some sectors, for example, legal searches, when people are searching for an attorney, it can cost around 50 euros sometimes, because there are so little searches and the searches has so much value and the companies has so much money. So the keyword price are different from both countries' relevance and of course what words you want to be found on. and you can Google it and see it in your own terms. The Google AdWords is like pretty basic. You can create an account that's free. Actually, I think Google will give you, so if you spend the first €100, they will double it. So when you spend €100, you will have €200. They have some different campaigns. We can send a link out where you can find them. But when you create an account, everything you do with Google is self-service. The first part are defining the keywords. What words are relevant for my business? Then we will have to create the ads. And when I say ads, I mean this is the ad. This is like the text ad, and it's pretty. People are pretty strict what you can do. You have, I think it's 70 dots up here and 45 and 45 in the different lines, and you can't put more letters into than that. So creating the ads is not a big task. It's a really simple text task, and then you have like first part of your campaign. You need to define your budget. How much I am willing to pay per click, and what is my main budget. So okay, you can say I will pay 10 Danish kroners per click, and my budget is 100 kroners per day. So you can define those two, and then Google will not spend more than you said it would spend. Meaning that it doesn't matter that there's many more who searches. Google will only show your ads when you have budget for that. Then you will get clicks and customers on your website. That's a easy part. And then hopefully you can feel it in your business, both online and offline. And then you can evaluate, okay, this month we spent 5,000 kroners. Did it work? Let's spend about 5,000 more. I'll dig more into the Google Analytics part later, where we can see how you evaluate online numbers. Yeah, there's some ways you can do it. You can do it yourself through the AdWords web interface. It will walk you through it all. Some countries, I think it's all European countries, but I'm not sure, there's a Google free setup where Google has some consultants who actually will help you the first 4 weeks over the phone. You can use that. It's really good if you have not worked with this before. And then the last, you can get help from a local consultant. As I work with this, we set this up for a lot of clients. So yeah, you can do that as well. Don't hire us, find someone who's near you, understand your local market. Yeah, and of course, if you do it yourself, as Google AdWords has extreme good help interface, or there's a lot of videos, walkthroughs, guides online where people can help you. So if you're a bit geeky yourself, you want to try it, just Google it and it will help you. You can see an example. We took a furniture store in Aarhus and said, okay, let's try this out. We'll have a budget of 1,000 Danish crowns. It's around 150 euros. Meaning that they will spend around 160 kroners per day. They found out that the word chair was relevant for them. They can actually set up that they want people searching for chair, and then in a radius of 5 miles of the physical store, meaning that they're out of Aarhus. So if someone are searching in Copenhagen, based to the research we saw from Emil, that would be stupid to get them onto the website because, oh, they're out of Aarhus, I will not go there. Yeah, as you can see, they will get around 1,000 clicks to the website in this period. And now I need to increase these numbers because I said, okay, maybe they'll get 50 visits to the store. If we take Emil's number for good, then that number should be a lot of much higher. Then I say, okay, we talked a lot about this with Casper from Varier. How many visits to the store before you actually get an order? And I said here, yeah, it's 10% of the visits in the store who will buy. That might differ from what products you are selling and so on. But if we say 5 orders here with a basket size of 5,000 kroners, you can see they will actually earn 25,000 with a spend of 1,000 kroners. You can see that the ROI is not the right number. It should be 25. So based on this business case, they spent 1,000 kroners for revenue of 25,000. That's, in my opinion, that's a good business case. I know this is like a simple way of putting it up, and the numbers are grateful, but it's to get you to understand the process with the clients for you. Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty much the basic of the Google AdWords. And as you can see, it's pretty simple. And when you hopefully see the interface, or Google will help you. You can try it out yourself and see for how little budget you actually can get a pretty high number of potential people who are in the market for the product you are selling. And when you add the geographical part and say, okay, they are just around in my neighborhood, then it should surprise me a lot if you couldn't have success with the Google AdWords. Yeah. The other part we have to talk about is Google My Business. Google My Business is an add-on for Google, where actually people use Google for brands they know. It's easier to Google if I want to go to a website. You can see the website Skobox. It's a Danish company. Google My Business gives you an overview of what Google will present about you. Because of course, when I search for a specific company, Google wants to show me the specific company, but Google also wants to help the company, so they created this Google My Business. It's the right part of the screen when you search it, and the only thing you need to do is register your business in the Google My Business. You go to the Google My Business site, and then there's a walkthrough where they say register your business. You can type it in, and if you can't find your business, actually sometimes Google has created your business without telling you. They use some big company databases, and then they create based on the data they can find. So you can claim that, okay, this is my business, I want to own it, or if not, you can create it. When you create the company page on Google My Business, of course you own it, meaning that you're visible if Google hasn't created you. You can get the right data in. For example, some of these business databases have the wrong phone numbers, wrong addresses, and so on. So getting the right data is pretty good to have, so that your customers know you will not go the wrong places. You can add opening hours, you can upload the pictures, you can see the reviews from the different review engines, and of course you can get some statistics. So this profile will give you a lot of interested visibility for your existing clients. So actually, if you're not in control of this, you might have lost some of your clients in the last couple of months. Yeah, here you can see how people are using the Google My Business. I can see how many of my customers know me, and how many actually, because when you create your profile, you also put some categories, you write about what you sell. So sometimes Google might show your local businesses to people not searching for you. And you can see here that here's around 10% who are searching for a category, a product or service. They might type in marketing in Aarhus. Then they say, okay, here we have completed their marketing agency in Aarhus. We might show them to them. So actually, creating a My Business also gives you new clients. We can see it's the search part of the Google Maps. People are seeing us, and we can also see what they do. And of course, here we're in office. We are not having a lot of people coming in, but for physical stores, we can see a lot of them are using it for phone numbers and for direction. I want to go there. Yeah, that's a lot of insights, and Google are always adding new insights to the My Business. Yeah, the process is pretty simple. You go to the Google My Business website, then you add your business to the Google My Business, and they need to verify that you're the right owner. There are two ways they can verify you. It's with the phone. They will call you and say, then there's a robot saying a secret PIN code you have to type in. And if there's not a phone number, they will actually send you a physical postcard with the address with the code. And when your profile is verified and you have the ownership of it, you can create or update your profile, adding what I had before, pictures, opening hours, and so on. And then of course you can use the insight and see if this is working for us. Yeah, it's pretty much a one-time task because all the information is static. Sometimes you might change the opening hours, you might upload some new pictures or something. Yeah. Now we dig into the last part, and that's a really interesting part. If you liked what Emil talked about numbers, this is really interesting because now you can get some numbers for yourself. Google Analytics is a statistics software. Actually, I think it's 10 years ago since Google bought it. It were a private company called something else where people paid for it. And Google said, okay, we'll buy it and make it free for you. So that's nice of Google. Of course, they're using all the data to be smarter of course, in an anonymous way, but they're using the data. Google is like, if you should basically answers 3 questions: where do our website visitors come from? Who are they, and what do they do? That is like the 3 main parts. I'll dig into some numbers, show you, but this is like only 1% of what Google Analytics can do. If you don't have Google Analytics on your website, then first of all, you have to complain to the guys who sold you your website, because it's free and it takes 5-10 minutes to implement on the site. So get them to do that ASAP. When you implement it, you will get data from today. So that's why you need to do it now, because you can't get data from early on. An example from this is Compel's website. We can see where our visitors come from and demographics about them. We can see that we had 2,500 visits last month. We can see that a lot of them are from Aarhus, where we are, some from Copenhagen, Aalborg, a lot of towns. We can see how they interact on the site. Yeah, so that's interesting for us to see, okay, is our websites in sync with what we want to sell them? I can see something about the demographics. We can see, okay, we have a lot of young people, and we have an okay split between male and female. Yeah, we also have some adult people up here, but we are like a young company with young visitors. I can see where my visitors are coming from, and this is interesting if you're working with getting new visitors, but also for you see, okay, we don't know how many visitors we have on our website, and we don't know where they're coming from. You can see that our main source is Google, and actually this is the organic, this is the SEO part. We get a lot of customers from organic placement. We have worked with that in the last 6 years, so of course that's relevant for us, and if we couldn't do it, who could do it? Yeah, we get a lot of potential customers from Google. We get a lot of potential customers from the Google AdWords, where we pay for them. And then we can see our different traffic sources here. We have a newsletter. We got a good link here who sends traffic in. We got some more from Facebook. And this list is like, you know, there's around 250 different traffic sources. Within all the traffic sources, I can see how long time are they spending on my site, how many pages are they seeing, what is the conversions. Our conversions is that they see our contact information. This is, you need to call us, they can't buy anything. For you, it might be how many are buying and how many are going to a store. So this is like basic. You can see where people are coming from, and if you have like spend money on Google AdWords, you spend on Facebook ads, and you spend on some other ads, you can compare them, you know, on the same metrics and see, okay, when I buy one user from Google, he'll spend 5 minutes on our site. When I buy one from Facebook, he'll spend 1 minute. I'll pay the same, so based on time on site, I might spend more money on Google. Yeah. And we can also see what are they doing on the site. Here we can see our pages. Of course, the front page is the most popular. The contact us is the second most. And then we can see, like here, number 10 is a new blog post we just created. It's talk about it's now possible to advertise in the Facebook Messenger, and we send a lot of traffic from our newsletter, so that's why it's popular for us. For us, it's not interesting because we have like not that many sites, but if you have, for example, a whole product catalog on your website, you can see what products are people looking at, what is the most time spent, and again you have a list of more than 2. I think we have 70 pages. So if you have 5,000 pages on your site, you would have a list of 5,000 pages. Yeah. Yeah. So what Google Analytics can do for you, it can give you insight about your website and users, insight about your online marketing spend, if you spend money, and also about how your website is performing. And there's 10,000 other things in Google Analytics. I spent more than 10,000 hours working with it, and I'm not finished because they always add new features and more data. We get more insights to dig into. Yeah, and what you should do, of course, you can install it. If you haven't installed it on your website, do it now. If you have it, be happy. Just mute cat. Yeah, and then when you have the data aside, Jasper, can you mute your microphone? Oh, sorry. When you have the data, you can start digging into it. I said analyze, make decisions, evaluate marketing. As I try to illustrate with the picture, it's an evolution, because you can't just go into it on like Google Analytics the first day and say, now I know everything. So you have to start looking at the numbers and understanding how it works, and then you can start making decisions. And I don't know for you, it will take 1 week, 2 weeks, or months, or years, or you have to hire someone to help you. But you just need to accept that it's a path you need to follow, because Google Analytics is, or web statistics in general, are extremely essential when you're working with online marketing, because we have so much data. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the end. Like the takeaway from today, Google is your friend. They want to earn money on you with the Google AdWords. That's like a main revenue for them, but they also want to help you out. I will say try it out. It will work. I'll promise you. You will get relevant customers to your website, and if you don't have, if you have an average website, they will come down to your stores. You need to register on Google My Business. There's no excuse for not doing that. And again, here Google are actually paying people to help you with that. And then of course, the Google Analytics has to be your new best friend. Get it installed in your website, start to look at the data, and start working on the data part when you're working with online marketing. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for me. I don't know if there's any questions for now. No, it doesn't seem to. Don't know if that's a good or bad thing. That's a lot of information on a short time, so I hope that it was relevant for you. Yeah, and of course the video of the presentation and the slides will be sent out. And if you have any questions, just reach out to your Varier representative, and then we will try to help you your best. So if there's something you need to clarify anything, just contact the marketing department or sales department, and they try to help you as good as they can. Cool. I think that's it for today. Thank you for your time, and have a good 1st of December. Bye.